Hello and welcome to the Worldwide People's Championships. Big thank you for resurrecting this tourney. This, at one point, was the longest running tourney. We went for not a year, but something like 30 weeks or something along those lines. Had a website for it. Then it kind of died and went away because I gave up on trying to babysit people. But thank you for bringing it back. So it's Worldwide People's Championships 2. The avatars that some people got to keep for like over a year are once again going to be in play. There are 4 of them, 4 different divisions, 4 different levels. This division is not the top one, but right underneath the top. Pachirico, I believe, is still the champion for the top division. And of course, those avatars that you'll see in chat were made by Kocher. I can actually pronounce that now. Blackguard, I believe, played twice in Worldwide People's Championships, lost. And the champions that we had in the top divisions were people like Voodoo. We had Lucian. So this used to be a pretty big tourney. Hopefully it makes the comeback. And really nice to see these 2 players. I'm not really sure who is the current champion. But wow. Jester Rush from Speed. Something to pay attention to. We'll see at what point Joly realizes. He does have a Celine coming out. But what did I want to say about these 2 players? They're not really 1v1 players. Looking at their names and looking at their history, I is actually Joly. He's from Portugal. He's, to me, one of the biggest eco whores. But I guess recently he's been playing much more 1v1. So it's the evolution here is an eco whore 2. A really good 1v1 player. Speed is also coming from team games, but he was more of an aggressive air player, as we see here. I. Yeah, he's flying before he is, and he is I. Third land. This is going to be a big pain. Let's see how Joly deals with it. The format for World People's Championships is you have a champion who is challenged every week. And he gets to choose 3 of the 5 maps for a best of 5. See the flag coming out. We already see 3 kills for that Jester. Don't want to lose that Jester. Gets out of there just in time. The biggest targets are going to be these engineers. And yeah, the veterancy on the Jester looks like was nerfed a little bit. In the past 3 kills would already have this Jester regenerate itself. There's a good looking Celine. But one thing about Speed with this build order, this Jester is so expensive that that's basically all he has at this point. There's also a tank. And in terms of expansion, both these players basically sitting on 4 mass extractors. This Jester needs to find that. Yep, and with 4 kills, right, I gotta see this. He needs 1 more kill, so 5 kills. Is what's necessary. This Jester definitely doesn't want to go here where you have 3 Deck 1 flags. That will be the end of the Jester, which will be very heartbreaking. That might be... yeah. This is where you probably want to scout or something like that so you can... oh, and good looking Celine here. So that's what you do against somebody who goes aggressive air against you. You put some land units out there. This Jester needs to come back and just get free veterancy off these 2 units. We're seeing the ACU for Joly just sitting back, making more power. Getting some reclaim, still sitting on 4 mass extractors. And both these players with this crazy opening are in a strange situation. Speed is going to be first to the middle. This mass here in the middle, something not to neglect. This is where usually the ACUs go. And will this tank kill the engineer here? That's the question. I think it will. That's a bit unfortunate for Speed. He does have 1 expanding engineer. Jester looking for 1 more kill. Should have been playing. Should have been home playing defense. That would have really helped. Joly finally gets an air factory. Once that interceptor is out, that's basically going to be the end. Yet another Jester coming out for Speed. I think the fact that he didn't make a scout really hurt him. Oh, run. Speed's ACU will get a few kills now. And that's the 5th kill, finally. Some regeneration. But in terms of eco now, speed, we're going to get at least some advantage. And yeah, he's got expanding engineers, so it's going to be a question of who grabs map control first. More land factories. This factory is not even producing anything. Joly. Why Joly? This is a sign of a player who doesn't play 1v1 a lot, because if you played 1v1, especially back in the early days, Theta is... Yeah, this is one of the most unusual Thetas. I guess that's what happens when you don't get 1v1 players playing on Theta, but still high-level players. Looks like one Jester died. Speed is doing the right thing. He's going to get, but this for a manual reclaim, you get huge amounts of mass. Nearly 1,000 mass here. These right here are worthless, but Joly deciding to get them. That's a big disadvantage to Joly. Once again, I have no idea who is the champion, so who gets to choose 3 of the 5 maps. In the past, when I was controlling this journey, I would have the first, I think it was, yeah, first map to the champion, second one to the challenger, then back, then back, then back. We did play around with that a little bit. I'm not sure what the order is now. People in the comments, I think Lexstock is the main person in this journey right now, should talk about what exactly this journey is today. Speed now with a significant advantage in mass, I imagine, also in reclaim 600, reclaim Joly 700. So both players very similar reclaim. That's very low reclaim, given that there is quite a bit of reclaim on this map. Perhaps a bit of a mistake here from Speed. Now these units, these Manta need to run away from the ACU. You don't want to just feed them for no reason. It does look like Speed will have the top. Speed's ACU taking a very long time to reclaim all this stuff. And if Speed could put some pressure on the bottom without losing the top, which is probably where Joly's main force is going to be, the two ACU is very far apart. And on Theta, ACU positioning is typically critical, as Jesters keep on coming out without air control. That's going to be a big loss for Speed. I think Jesters are nice unless you don't have air, and Speed does not have air. And he has no flak either. Numbers on the ground for Joly. Good move from Speed to kill off that expanding engineer. Will deny a couple of mass extractors, and the ACU with 6 kills. And this is where that engineer needs to run away. Joly retreating in a position where he shouldn't. This Jester with 1 kill is going to die to inties. Basically an inti spam now from Speed as well. Speed is in a very strange position on this map near the corner. Has denied quite a few mass extractors, so Speed in a significant mass advantage. Joly's ACU could also get himself in trouble, only on 2 kills. But without the help of ACU, it's always a bad policy to attempt to attack that. Yeah, you just want to kill that weaker force if you're Speed. Another thing to notice about Speed's force, he doesn't have any scouts, and he doesn't have a radar. So both these players playing very blind, except for their interceptors. Well, Joly isn't playing blind. This radar here is gold. And tech to land. Alright, so Joly going tech to land. And Speed, for whatever reason, is he power stalling? Yeah. Speed forgot to make some extra P-gens. And even though he's got more mass extractors, he can't take advantage of it. And one of the reasons, these point defenses do cost a bit of power to make. Good move with the Manta. The Manta micro from Speed has been very good. But now with these Ilshavas that are going to come out, they're going to tear apart the Manta. So it'll be a major counterattack from Joly. Joly now with 6 kills. This Mantis force in the middle, a bit weak, I guess, against what's coming up against it. Also no Medusas and no sign of Tech 2. More P-gens are necessary. And perhaps this air spam needs to be stopped, because Speed is in total power stall. He's got way too much mass for what he can do. Joly isn't in a power stall because he doesn't have the mass. No, this is a very nice engineer here. You can see in terms of map control, total domination by Joly. Sorry, by Speed. Joly's got the bombers. Speed needs to be very careful here because these Ilshevas, and he does not have the overcharge. So Ilsheva versus ACU is actually very good against the power stalling ACU. Of course, Joly might not know that, so he needs to be very protective. But these Ilsheva is like walking point defenses. They're gonna tear up this force, and the ACU kills 15 versus 8, so Speed. Yeah, look at these kills. I think Speed is in trouble. Yeah, Speed did not. He's got the better eco, but he ran out of units. He could not handle the Ilshevas. 13 kills. Speed still on 15. He's been shooting the ACU instead of getting a little vet. And that's the mistake. Speed loses this game. So 1 up for Joly. A couple more games to go. And of course, let's check out the stats. I imagine Speed. In terms of mass, actually, surprisingly, Joly was ahead most of the game, even though Speed had a bigger production. But I think that is surprising to me. I guess the reclaim part is the thing that really helped. And it was the power stalls, because map control was definitely in Speed's favor. Speed had a little more power, but he was making against the gestures. Interesting. Somehow map control did not translate into a better economy. And in terms of energy, yeah, well, maybe somebody can explain this to me. But look at this, dead even overall. Such a close game. It was just the Tech 2. The move to Tech 2 was very powerful. And that early gesture, I think, could have been slightly better for Speed. Hello and welcome to Game 2 of this Best of 5 Worldwide People's Championships under 1900 1v1 rating, I guess. That's what it is, because the global ratings are both 2000. Speed in this one going with Aeon, which is interesting. Joly sticking with Seraphim. He's still I. And this map, I wonder who chose this one. This is definitely a crazy map. A huge amount of reclaim. There's rocks in the middle a little bit, but it's all these tiny rocks that you want to pick up. Just clump some rocks you can get with positioning a factory over them if you wanted to. Get that reclaim very quick. There's a very close hydro. Second air from Speed. Yeah, Speed continues to live up to his name that he is very much an air player. And looks like 4 mass extractor, Speed Gen Hydro, P Gen Air. That's going to be interesting to see what his power does. Very quick expanding engineer. That's I guess he's hoping for best here. Because losing those NGs, these are really exposed if Speed decides to do some raiding, but looks like he's not. Sorry, Joly. Joly is likely going to... So second air from Speed and second land. Joly has no air planned whatsoever, so that air from Speed. And once again, I think this shows that Speed isn't really 1v1 player. Second air on this map is very dangerous. I know that some people can make gestures. I think the build order from previous game, if you would have gone quick gesture, is fairly powerful here, but with Aeon, okay, it's a ghetto. Never mind. That's gonna be very interesting. But we did see Joly recover quite well from early aerial assault, so we'll see how he deals with it this time. You can see in terms of a build order, much quicker expansion to the expansions from speed means he's got a much higher income. He's lower on power. His ACU is more aggressive, so he's playing this map like a usual map, getting map control. He did leave with his ACU a little earlier, and I imagine, yeah, he's already power stalling, which this ghetto right here is costing him a lot. Because you can see it's almost fourth land here. It's going to be 4 land versus 1 land, and this land is producing flares. So in terms of total numbers, it's going to be total domination by speed. Sorry, by Joly. So this ghetto must be extremely powerful. And a bomber. The thing is, when you already have this much stuff, the units that you create just won't have the capacity to do that much damage. You can see now Joly expanding with an ACU. And Hydras on this map are one of the critical units. They're, I think, more important than anything else, actually. So Ghetto together with a bomber, it's going to be the first time Joly will see what Speed is doing. This Aurora, meanwhile, has been excellent. See any air yet? But in terms of eco, look at the power from Joly. And he's got a perfect balance. 2,000 reclaim speed, 133 reclaims. So what we're seeing here is one player who is familiar with the map, the other one isn't. Which is a very bad sign. Yeah. So it's a demonstration that different maps in this game play extremely differently. And with these manufacturers, you can produce so much flak to erase anything in the air very quickly. Some nice bombs though from Speed, as you expect from Speed. He's got excellent bombers. He's actually gonna, yeah. So air was excellent. This ghetto, you can't lose this ghetto. If you have any hope, you can't lose that ghetto. Fly away. Oh, just in time. Speed attempting to recover. His aerial assault here was actually quite good. He still has a significant mass extractor advantage, but I think he's power stalling still. So once again, 2 games in a row, Speed is power stalling. 8 health left on that transport. And now a massive land force coming out, leading with a whole bunch of strikers. Another excellent bomb. An air factory now for Joly. So what we have now is even eco. Actually a significant advantage in terms of mass income, but all the reclaim on the ground here really makes up for it. Joly now up to nearly 5,000 reclaim. Speed 205. So Speed doesn't know that there are rocks all over the place. But the big difference now is this land force. If somehow Speed can take on this land force and just get a bunch of vet on his ACU, because this is just going to go around his base and kill everything. It's not going to fight the ACU, it'll just go around. That PD, if it was finished, would have been really nice, but it's not. Auroras for Speed are also, so this is still not that clear. Is that still 8 health? Speed, yeah, that's 1 shot from this NT and that thing is dead. Speed getting some vet. But now Joly will grab this expansion. He's sitting on 2 hydros. There is a PD here, which is giving him some safety. But look at the total land factories in this game. We have a total of 10. Total of 14. So speed actually catching up. Look at the total engineers. We got 23. Speed only at 12. So double the engineers for Joly, which is huge. Each one of those can reclaim from this map, produce power. And now Joly once again running away with power. So build capacity and power advantage for Joly, which is translating into numbers advantage on the ground. And then eventually Joly, I imagine, will take his ACU together with his force and run everything over. Unless there's a quick Tech 2 switch or something along those lines, it's going to be very difficult to stop. This PD is critical. I think these engineers need to finish that PD if they can. This could be a... What is that bomber going to do? If it would have bombed those, it would have been absolutely beautiful. I gotta say, Joly, what Joly has is excellent micro. He's been showing that off. And that's really what's been keeping him in the game. As, okay, this is a great choice from Joly. If he gets the gun upgrade, which he can definitely afford, although he's still power stalling. Yeah, speed, power stalling naturally. But a major land victory, and this really went down to micro, plus a lot of flak in this force. A lot of reclaim has been left over, although shouldn't be too much of an effect given the mass that's still spread all over the map. Speed now up to 2200, reclaim Joly up to 11,000. It's 8,000 difference. Is absolutely massive. Great inties from speed, preventing the Auroras from getting raped here. Tech 2 land, so Joly at Tech 2 land. Once he gets the gun, it'll absolutely shred Auroras. So that gun means speed. If speed has hope, he needs to get Tech 2. And actually, I think in his situation, I'm not sure what he's thinking right now, but yeah, it's really hard to make any kind of plans without having power. If he had more power, I think going quick Tech to air and shooting some mercies at this ACU would be really nice. But he really doesn't really have the intel to know what's happening to the ACU. And oh, that was a great bomb. 4 kills, another bomb. And that's the problem with playing with Aeon. You might have a large force here, but it can easily die. Well, it takes a couple bombers. But the two big weaknesses for speed have been lack of reclaim and lack of power, which both stem from lack of engineers. You can see here a lot of factory attack moves. Good micro though. And this other side with the ACU a bit isolated, it's got a point defense, but once that upgrade is done, it will be very painful. 16 kill Ilshua. And it's not stopping. 18 kills, I think eventually it will get killed, but there's some nice piece of kiting there from speed. It was as good a micro as you can have, and this is the worst micro possible from Joly, just running in one file into kiting Auroras, but the tech here really helping him out. Tech to land for speed. The Obsidians will deal with Ilsheva as no problem. They're a perfect counter to any Tech 2 unit. But the big problem now is this gunned ACU. So yeah, so we've been having a massive fight in this region. We're gonna get another fight up on top. Very even map control from these two players. Speed catching up on power, but these bombers need to be taken care of. Both players, oh yeah, that's painful. A lot of build capacity on the Obsidian spam. The Tech 2 land was a little earlier for Joly, and he's already got supporting factory. He's got at least 2 Tech 2 supporting factories, actually got more. He's got at least 4 or 5. But Obsidian's moving in, and the Obsidians will kill things here. Tech 2 engineer will get taken out. Speed really showing. I did not think Speed could stay in this game after that initial situation, but he's staying in it. He's still behind given this gun, and yeah, which means he's going to lose that position, so he's going to lose map control. But his Obsidians are doing a good job here against the Ilsheva. They do not have the numbers. No, they're not doing a good job anymore. It was superior numbers for... Looks like a upgrade cancel. This is where it's critical to get some Tech 2 engineers in this position. For Speed, you want to get a strong front and maybe a counterattack. But Ilshevas in large numbers here are a very big problem. What are these bombers going to do? Oh, it's a cruise missile launcher. There is already TMD up though for Joly. And now, yeah, it's superior Tech 2 numbers on both fronts. We're seeing Speed collapse here. Speed, no more power problems. He does not have power storage, which means no overcharges. Plenty of room to overcharge for Joly. So yeah, it's his for the taking, this entire area. There's nothing here to stop him. And Tech to air, maybe some mercies. Yes, mercies is one way to deal with an ACU that's this aggressive. On the other front, it's a little closer. Yeah, this is a lot of dead units. Speed, the reclaim, 15,000. Total power stall, 30,000 for Joly. Perhaps the biggest factor in this one has been the reclaim. Amazingly, when you have a 15,000 mass deficit and you're still alive after 13 minutes. Speed done with some upgrade. He's got the range finished. Are we gonna see mercies? Might not even see that. You could see total collapse everywhere. This missile launcher could be used against the ACU. Although, let's see, is that actually gonna hit? Yes, oh wow. A hit on the ACU. However, this is just too much. And the Ilsheva coupled with the Zuthi. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, that could have been a draw. That could have been a draw. I think Speed, this ACU kept on standing still, and Speed anticipated it to move forward. And if he would have just shot directly at the ACU, he could have pulled off a draw. It's 6,000 damage, and it was under 6,000 damage. But Joly, 2 games up against Speed. Now Speed needs to win 3 in a row. It's going to be very difficult. And yeah, we're going to see the stats here. Going to be quite one-sided, I think. You can see the mass income. Speed actually beginning to recover, but early on, after like 4 minutes, it was already 8,000 to 5,000 here. Energy, also Joly, just running away with that. And I'm sure total built as well. So Joly winning with economy. Game 3 between Speed and Joly. With Speed 2 games down, he's got to win this one. He's going to go first air. And Joly going first land. Let's see, first ever, first land. This could be a very short one. Speed cycling through the different factions. He started off with Cybern, then went to Aeon, and now he's Seraphim. Joly has been Seraphim throughout. My opinion with the current balanced Seraphim is the easiest one to play with, so if you're a newer player, go with Seraphim. He used to say YEF, but I think you have some weaknesses until you get to the later stages. Seraphim have slightly quicker Tech 1 tanks. Selines are nice, and unless you can really micro well with Mech Marines early on, I think a Celine together with the Tham are a little better. Also, their bomber is very nice, and that Tech 2 stage, the El Shaba, very strong. The ACU is very strong, but same with UEF. So first bomber for speed, bomber scout. Let's see what can happen. You can see that Joly is spreading his engineers. Speed, one bomb down. Oof, that could have been a nice double bomb. We already see flak coming out. Second bomb. So already a very good bomber. Forced multiple flaks. 2 engineers ACU. 2 engineers ACU is the build capacity, but second air from yeah, this bomber, if it wants to really pay for itself, it needs to get a couple more kills. It already did a significant damage, but I gotta say this still looks better for Joly, because there's still no land factory, so the second land is much later for speed, and a bomber for Joly. See if this bomber can get another NG kill here. Unable to do so. With these NT standing by, I think this bomber's days are numbered. Yep, that's it. And now a bomber for Joly is ready to do some counterattack. In the ACU for speed in every single game has been quicker to move out from the base. Joly has really taken his time building up in his own base. And in every single game, speed has been aggressor with air. Just like I said, an Eco Whore versus a very good air player. And what we've seen is an Eco Whore has been more successful. Of course, those are approximations. 2 engineers on the land spam and no power spam from speed, and that's been a pretty big weakness for him. I think the maps that he's been playing on are really mass heavy, which means you can't neglect making power early on, especially with this aggressive air. He's been power stalling in every single game. Let's see if he power stalls in the 3rd grade bomb from Joly. So Joly, oh yeah, so it's, oh, and these, if he kills these 2 NGs, this is over. He doesn't. So both Blairs with 2 bombers, they get 2 kills each. In terms of power, once again, Joly has got a significant lead here. And 1200 reclaim speed, only 200. If speed made more power and reclaim more, he would be significantly better. And he's still focused on mass extractors. These rocks are just so huge. If you just reclaim those rocks, forget the mass extractors. It's just wasted power. But I think on maps without reclaim, speed would have a significant advantage. These engineers need to start producing power. Speed has been stuck on 180 for a very long time now. It does give him a bit of an advantage at this stage, because he doesn't waste power on making power, but eventually it is going to catch up with him, because that the mass income curve here is just going to escalate on him. It's going to run him over. And we're going to see speed power stall, and it sucks to make PGens when you're power stalling. You want to make them when you actually have power, anticipating what kind of mass income you will have. Another bomber, and yeah, that extra 100 power means more air for Joly. Total air control with a bomber that can do whatever it wants, and choosing the perfect target, which is an expanding engineer, although a single hero interceptor attempting to kill a bomber, unable to do so. Tech to land, quick tech to land from speed. And Joly's ACU getting some free veterancy. In terms of map control, total mass extractors, advantage to Joly. His bomber did a good job denying an expanding engineer. There is some flak here. Do want to avoid detective flak coming out. Finally, some more pigeons for Speed. Joly just totally running away with that. Joly also on Tech 2 land. And my feeling is that it's going to be interesting. So Speed is going to put pressure on Joly. I think this game is won for Joly given that significant power advantage. However, I think Speed wants to prove me wrong that sometimes it's better to make tanks instead of pigeons and attack at the proper moment. If he is able to win this, there are some Ilshevas coming in. But that's basically the difference. Pigeons versus tanks. And Speed is catching Joly all alone without any support. So long term versus short term. Short term so far proving to be the better choice. And I think Speed has at least got a draw. He's got at least a draw. I think he's going to get the win. He is going to get the win. Well, thanks for proving me wrong, Speed. So that means we're going to go to game 4. Maybe if... no, I think that was just a good move from Speed. He knew exactly at what point in the game he was going to have the advantage. And that's when he took that advantage. Overall, the build order I think was better for Joly if he played safer with ACU. So hopefully people enjoyed this one. And of course, we gotta always want to look at what happened in the mass income. Speed actually beginning to catch up. In terms of energy, total domination, total build. I think a lot of this total build were pigeons. Yep, the last battle. A little more of everything for Joly, except units. Land units, actually Speed had... is this kills? Yeah. I wanted to look at built. Guess a lot of those were engineers. Energy wasted, so much more for Joly. That's what happens when you power stall, you don't waste any power. Hello and welcome to game 4. Joly is still one game up, 2-1. Speed just won the last one. Speed decided not to cycle through every single faction, goes back to Aeon. Joly, not surprisingly, 4 games in a row with Seraphim. First land, no surprises there. Love this map, Dry Canyon. It's a version 3, I think that's a standard version. Yeah, it's one of the more interesting maps, I think. You can see whoever made this put a lot of thought into it, where you have this expansion, which has got some weaknesses. There's also a mass extractor here with the run-bys behind. So the mass extractor is really placed in position where they're vulnerable to raids. In the middle, it's also very interesting, a big mountain with the dry canyon through the middle, with a lot of mass there, so you can fight over that, plus hydros. On the sides, it's also... Yeah, I think you can talk about this map for a long time. It's excellent. Aeon versus Seraphim, which one's better? Aeon is a bit slow. I think on this map, having quick units is very valuable. So I think the Tham, if it can run around the Aurora and get in behind, could be quite powerful. It's actually a good map for Cybern. Second land from Speed. Amazingly, Speed not going second air. That's the first time. Joly going second air, probably anticipating air. So I'll see how Speed deals with that. Joly with a build order that's quite good, it seems, for this map. Very nice balance. He's already reclaimed one of those rocks. A little more reclaim for Speed. I think Speed has more reclaim in the first 2 minutes here than he had in the first 10 minutes in the other games. Well, not 10, but maybe 5. So he's actually going after these rocks. These rocks are fairly critical. And Speed is a bit quicker on the expansion. That's one thing that Speed has shown. He's very good at grabbing his expansions. See 3 expanding engineers for Joly. No raids whatsoever. So I think we're perhaps using a couple flares for Speed would have been nice. And a bomber coming out now. Speed rushing tech to land with Aeon. Okay, this is interesting now. This bomber is probably gonna have a lot of fun here. Double bomb. Almost a triple bomb. That would have really sucked. Quick onto air turret, but on the next pass, these pigeons not spread apart. Ouch. Speed once again finds himself in a hole in terms of power. So that first bomber from Joly, absolutely deadly. There's still a Tech 2 land factory now coming in with an Obsidian. And actually an Obsidian is a fairly good unit here. It can take on a large group of Tech 1. Well, relatively large. Air factory is paused for Joly. Joly is going to get the Hydra much quicker. There's absolutely nothing. And once again, Speed is going to show off his excellent micro, which kept him in the second game for so long. His Aurora micro has been very good. Damn, that's a slap in the face right there from Joly. And a second slap in the face. That's a... dang. That hurts. But we'll see what these Obsidians can do for Speed. Finally, another land factory. No air yet for Speed, who is once... yeah, way behind. Tech 2 land coming out for Joly, so he's going to need some Ilshivas to counter the Obsidians. And this Hydra is so huge. Double power production. And one thing about the Obsidians is that they don't like it when you don't have power. More than half of their health is in the shield, which requires power. So power stalling with Aeon is a very bad thing to do. Yeah, that was some lucky Auroras there dodging. Bombers versus Auroras have been quite dominant. Still no air factory for Speed, which means that all the Auroras are going to die. And we got Obsidians with blinking shields. Speed pushing up. And this PD is going to not be completed. Just in time. An overcharge for Joly. He needs to complete that PD. He's going to get a... oh, yeah, those Obsidians died. Yeah, he's going to complete that. And that's going to be a problem. That bomber survived. Just in time. And Speed facing a Tech 1 PD, I think this is going to be game over. He's got absolutely nothing in support. Yeah. Maybe it was a good idea to go such quick Tech to land, but against second air. And second air on this map isn't... I don't know. I think it's sort of common, but... it was a risk to go Tech 2 land and no air. Especially with Aeon not having air, it's very painful. So fairly easy win for Joly. He is the Worldwide People's Championships under 1800 champion. So hopefully he gets another challenge next week. Maybe from Speed. It'll be interesting to see a rematch between these two players. And yeah, this is probably not going to be that interesting, but in terms of the mass income, yep, pretty short game. About 10,000 mass for each player, but I think Joly was running away with it at the end.